Hey GCU, I want to read to you from Philippians 4, 6, and 7. Don't be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. So much of tension is the anxiety that we feel because of the circumstances that we're in. The tension that I face isn't something necessarily that exists on its own. I tend to get tense because I'm looking around me at my circumstances, and most of the time for me, I'm anxious about what's going to happen. How am I going to pay this bill? How am I going to meet this deadline? How am I going to talk to this person who's hurt me? All of this comes to me, and I'm fearful of what's going to happen if things don't go my way. I'm fearful of the circumstances that I face in my life. And so Paul writes in Philippians that don't be anxious about anything. Try that out. Don't be anxious about anything. Well, come on, give me more than that. What does it mean not to be anxious about anything? It means don't be anxious about anything means that I would actually take it to God. And that sounds so cliche. But it tells us here that what I would do, not being anxious about anything, but taking everything to Him, making it known to God. Now that sounds silly. God already knows everything that you're facing. Yes. But if I will make known what I'm facing to God, it shows that I have a heart that trusts Him with anything that I face. Everything that I face, if I bring it before Him, I'm actually saying to God, God, I trust You with this. Will You help with this? I don't know how I'm going to get through this without You. And then it tells us that the peace of God that we don't get, doesn't make sense to us. It's not something that we can mentally process or reason through. This peace of God that goes beyond all understanding actually guards our hearts and our minds. Where we get fearful, our hearts and our minds, those agents of fear in us, it actually says that peace of God will guard us. It will guard our hearts and our minds. And yet, you might say, look, all these things I'm facing that I feel great tension on are real things, and I get that. They are real things. And I'm giving you advice that says, hey, there's this peace of God out there, and it's really intangible. And so I encourage you today, whatever tension you're facing, would you just do an exercise with me? When you feel that tension, you feel that anxiety, would you just picture Jesus standing right next to you with His arm around you, saying, I got this, kid. That's what's true. That's where He is. He's with you. I encourage you to picture that as you face that anxiety today, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Him. Blessings, GCU.